the things that you know. Would you look me in the eye? If I was funny enough from time to time, none of this was wrong with you. If I could play a game with your mind, would I catch a glance from you? I know there's no way, but I can keep dreaming and writing songs about us getting together. 'Cause at least this way, my words have meaning, as the likelihood of us is never. 'Cause I just keep dreaming, 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 'cause I tend to lose myself in my mind, like a raindrop to the sea. In a world of fun design, it was you that noticed me. I'm painting my own picture with all the colors that I see. So I drew myself next to you.
Hey y'all,
Spinning out
how y'all doing?
to see. I know there's no way, but I can keep dreaming.
What's going on, man? How y'all doing? That light is perfect. That light is hitting. Hey, y'all ready for this lesson today? Where's everybody? Where's everybody, huh? Where's everybody? Oh, need more of that. I like my tea straight sometimes, but not all the time. Put a little agave in there. I like my things tasting a little sweet. I like my thing tasting a little sweet. I like it tasting a little sweet. You heard? Feels me? I like it a little on the sweet side. Alright, y'all. What's going on, man? Let me start. Let me not play around with this here thing. Yeah, more agave. You heard. Welcome to the Light series, y'all. Welcome. I'm going to be doing my intro, so give it a minute. Thank you for following the light. Thank you for following the light, following your light, your inner light. Thank you for joining me on this breaking. I keep wanting to say breaking out because of the book, but it's Breaking Habitual Patterns, a light guide series. And so we're going to be breaking habitual patterns today. And is this one right here hits home. This one we're going into today, this topic we're going into today hits home. So I'm going to be talking from a real place because I'm talking about recently, just as of, yesterday, but it really was a culmination of 2 weeks. I was this way, and I'm never usually this way. So welcome back to the Breaking Habitual Patterns Light Guide series. I am Omaka the Light. You can find me here on Instagram, Facebook. You can find me anywhere you're searching for me. If you're looking for me, you will be able to find me. I guarantee it. If you're looking for me, you'll find me. And if you're looking for me on any other platform, I promise you, you'll find me. Not because I'm famous or not because I got a big name or none of that. It ain't none of that, really. It's the simple fact that if you're looking for someone, you know how to find them. Okay? And if you're looking for me, you'll definitely know how to find me. and it's not hard to do. Okay? And so I am here to give you today's pattern that we need to break. It's a heavy one, it's a real one, and it's one that a lot of us do. It's one that a lot of us do. I am going to be doing my Breaking Habitual Patterns series is inspired by my book, Breaking Out, Escape the Fear of Failure. And you can get you a copy of this book by sliding in my DMs. It goes down in the DM. Slide off in the DM and tell me, or slide in the comment section and say, I want a copy. I'll slide in the DM and get your information. You know what I'm saying? And let you know how to make that happen. With that being said, these patterns is a 14-day series. They are inspired by the book. They're not specifically things in the book. They're just inspired by the book. The Bible was inspired by God. So that's how it happens, right? So these patterns are going to help us. And this book is a book that is going to help you too, to get rid of those patterns. So we're going to break down a pattern of today. I hope you got your journal. Hope you got notes. Hope you came prepared. I only got an hour. Let me go ahead and flip my timer. So I only got an hour of your time. So take a moment, get you some tea, take a breather. I'll give you a minute. If you didn't get no tea, if maybe my tea made you want to get some tea and you want to go get some tea, go get you some tea. I'll give you 1 minute, okay? Take a breather. Inhale. Exhale. Go get you some tea, okay? Do something real quick. Settle in. Get your journal, get your pen, whatever you gotta do. But I'm gonna open this thing up in 1 minute, okay? Turn it up a little bit, a little up tempo for you. Hey, and I want to say your name is Indria. Indira. I wanted to say Indira. How you say your name? Like, break it down. But hi Natural. Hi. It's all Gardner. It all Gardner. Ital Gardner. I like Ital Gardner. Okay. Hey, saying hi to my people. How y'all doing? All right, y'all ready? Let's open this bell up, right? Took a breath. Took a minute. Relax. I'm having fun this time. The last series we did a lot of prayer and meditation. Let me start. Let me not play around with y'all. We got a lot to get through. Bell sounds so good to my heart. Okay. Breaking habitual patterns. We want to look at these patterns. And what is today's pattern? You see it. Ending passiveness. What does it mean to be passive? It means that you are allowing things to happen to you and you not happen to it. You need to write that down already. You're allowing things to happen to you and you not happen to it. You're allowing things to come and basically take over how your life is ran and call shots for you and you don't have really, you become a victim. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about in another topic on victimhood. But you become a victim, and this is where the anger and the frustration comes from, saying things like, oh, they did it to me because I'm a black man. They won't let a black man live. Oh, this is because the system is corrupt. The system is messed up. The system is this. The system is that. Indira. Okay. If I messed it up, send me a voice note. You feel me? All right. So breaking habitual patterns. This is about, you know how we got to go through these steps, right? We got to go through taking off the mask. We got to go through facing the truth. Then we got to go through healing the matter. I keep notes with me for this series because I don't like losing important key points that you need to be writing down. Not everything I say is a written phrase you need to write down. So just be prepared to say, just be prepared to necessarily not have to write everything down, but write some things down that catches your ear. And so let's start by first taking off the mask. Again, everything don't need to be written down. Okay? But let's start by taking off the mask. We have to begin to unmask behaviors of passiveness so we can begin to face the truth, and then we can heal the matter. So when we're talking about unmasking how we first display behaviors of passiveness, when we let's unmask how we display behaviors of passiveness. Okay, let's do that. First, we become closed off from dealing with things. We think we become closed off from dealing with things we think will just go away. We think they'll go away by themselves, and that doesn't happen. We think like that with debt. We think that with bills. We think that with broken relationships, with relatives, and then from all of that, we become unemotional when it comes to feeling compassionate or empathetic for others. See, when we think that things are supposed to take care of themselves, we don't understand that that's passiveness. When we think that things just take care of themselves naturally, oh, just let it take care of itself. It'll take care of itself. And some things in our lives are causing us suffering, which was yesterday. A lot of things in our lives are causing suffering to us. We're suffering from them because we allow things to happen to us. We passively sit by and allow things to, quote unquote, take care of themselves when they don't. Okay? Not everything take care of itself. Sometimes a wound will take care of itself. Eventually it will heal. But we're talking about when it comes to your life here on planet Earth. When you got to live a life and you're trying to live out goals and live out dreams and set intentions, you cannot be a passive person. If you're a lazy type, then that's a different story. We'll get into that deeper. Okay? And what this does is it allows us to become unemotional when it comes to feeling compassionate or empathetic for others. See, our passiveness, our frustrations, our suffering causes us from being emotionally attached to others because we're emotionally attached to our suffering. Our suffering traps us to be emotionally attached to it, so we become unemotionally available for other people and compassionate for other people. And that comes from being passive. You understand what I'm saying? Because things is happening to you. Things are happening to you and you are looking at it as if it is the fault of the universe or the fault of other things, when some things is just coming from you being very passive. You understand what I'm saying? I had an experience myself with this very one. I'll be honest with you. I did not want to come on and do this topic today simply because I felt a little bit embarrassed with myself for having allowed myself something to happen to me because of my passiveness. But I'm so caught up in my vision and in my goals and in my dreams that some things, let me just be clear. I was one of them people that thought it was just going to take care of itself. Let me unmask this thing and be straight up honest about it. It was a situation I thought, oh, it ain't nothing going to happen. Everything going to be good. It's going to take care of itself. I was one of them people. I became a victim of my own message. And you know what they say? The best teacher is your last experience. You understand what I'm saying? That's the best teacher, the experiences you have. So I had to experience this for my own self, you know, and the lessons that we learn, you know, it comes from our own experiences. So yeah, I'm coming from a real and a raw place with this, but I still know how to deliver it and still take care of my business and not use victimhood and blame things and say it's not my fault. I take full responsibility. And this is what I want you to do. If you're going to learn anything from me, learn to take responsibility. Okay? So, and this is what happens. Things, and that passiveness behavior that I displayed could have actually developed into anger and frustration, and it would allow me to become unemotionally available for people around me, and I would have lashed out and became, you know, argumentative. I'd have saw things that little things would have triggered me, you know, the flashing, you know, just the way a person might walk around me or the way a person's carrying themselves around me could trigger me. But we don't understand these hidden things are coming from our own suffering, and some of our suffering comes from our passiveness. And so little things about what people do, the way they chew their food, the way they lay their fork down, the way they, you know, just the way they sit down in the chair, or the way that anything could trigger you because you're unemotionally available, because you're too emotionally attached to your suffering. And that come because you were passive about something you should have took care of. You were passive about something that should never have happened. You should never have allowed to happen. You understand what I'm saying? So we become closed off from dealing with things. And this stems from not dealing with our passive ways. Okay? This stems from not dealing with our passive ways. We become passive to the point of laziness, which leads to uninspired habits when we stay in this pattern. It becomes let me repeat that again. We become passive to the point of laziness, which leads to unmotivated habits, uninspired ways when we stay in this pattern. We become uninspired. We become unmotivated. We don't want to get up and do anything. You understand what I'm saying? When you become passive about things, you actually are becoming a lazy person. A lazy person is probably the worst passive person, because they don't allow things. They're uninspired. They're unmotivated. They don't have no motivation to get up and want to go do anything. Get up and want to go anywhere. Get up and want to allow things to just unfold by their own unfolding. You understand? And so it stops us from being unproductive. It stops us from being unproductive, which causes a plethora of chain reactions. This unmotivated, this laziness, this passiveness, which causes us to be lazy, unmotivated, uninspired, and stops us from being productive. It causes a plethora of chain reactions. Watch this. We get fired. We get fired from our jobs. We could potentially lose our homes. This is the chain reaction from laziness, unmotivated, uninspired living because of our passiveness. Actually, it leads to unproductiveness. Unmotivated, uninspired leads to unproductiveness. That unproductiveness carries over into your job, your career, your business that you're trying to develop. And then that carries over into potentially losing your job, potentially losing your home. And this is the emotions that we getting ready to go through, right? We begin to lose our jobs. We get fired from our jobs. We could potentially lose our homes, which leads to fear thoughts of being broke, lonely, and afraid, of being on the street, living with family members, of relationships you have a hard time dealing with. Then it leads to instability for children, having to move constantly, choosing changing schools, making new friends, not making friends, fear of sticking out. You see how your passiveness really upsets the whole apple cart. You see what I'm saying? Because of your passive ways leads to laziness, which leads to unmotivated, uninspired living, which leads to unproductive life, which leads to a chain reaction of things. And then then you go into the emotional suffering part of that, which leads to what? Which leads to you potentially getting fired from your job because of your unproductive ways, getting fired from your business tanking because you're not taking care of your business, and everything else falling apart around you because of your unproductive ways, which could lead to you losing your home, losing your job, losing your home, living on the street, being broke. All these emotions start to run through you. When you lose a job, you say, damn, I could lose my home. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't got no check coming in. Damn, if I lose my home, then I'm out on the street, me and my family. How am I feed my family? Damn, I'm going to have to go live with my mama. I don't want to live with my mama. We already ain't got a good relationship. I don't want to go live with my dad. We already don't got a relationship. I don't want to call my sisters my brothers. We don't have good relationships. But I'm going to have to bite the bullet, bite my tongue, and go and do this. Things I don't want to do, I got to do. And it starts to lead into all these other places. It starts to spill over. And then your children got to end up changing schools. And then that leads to fearing them. And because they're going to either stand out, stick out. And then they got to make new friends, not make new friends, deal with loneliness, deal with, the instability. It's a bunch of stuff that comes with being passive. You understand? And it spills over into the emotional unwellness, the unwell-being, instability of your children, of your life, of your business. It all leads over into these areas. You understand? Your passiveness, it upsets the whole apple cart. It upsets the whole apple cart. Your passiveness leads to unstable minds, hearts, homes, and children's who are unable to really focus on things like school, which opens the door to failure, to dropout, to street gangs, to drugs, to we just here to unmask a whole lot of stuff, and we don't see how it all trickles down the fountain. How it all trickles down. They say the apple don't fall too far from the tree. That's exactly what that means. You understand? Because of your passive ways spills over into your jobs and instability in your home, and then the fearing you losing your home, having to go live with people you don't like, people you don't really want to ask, and then you have to be embarrassed about that because they're looking at you now as broke, busted, and disgusted, and then you don't have no family you can really go and live with. You don't really want to live with, you don't vibe with nobody, and then that leads to instability in your children, changing schools, them being the new kid, sticking out, fearing them, thinking that they got to stick out, make new friends, the instability of their mind, and then that leads to failure in your children because of the instability and the constant changes, and then your children are dealing with failure, which could lead to streets and lead to gangs and lead to drugs and lead to jail and a whole bunch of other stuff that follows behind that kind of thing. You understand? Now this is the majority, not the minority. You understand what I'm saying? What I mean by majority. This is the way for most people who live with these type of emotions. The majority of people that live with passiveness, a behavior pattern of passiveness, these are the type of people that's going to see these type of patterns happen and unfold. With someone who they lose their job by no fault of their own, they were productive, they live a good life. Them the type of people that's going to get up and go. They're going to say, nah, not to me, not to my family. Them the motivated, inspired ones. They're like, no, I'm not passive. Nothing. My job firing me is not just because of the economy. It's not just going to be something that I allow happen to me. I'm going to happen to it. Okay, cool. Fire me. I'm going to get up and go do something different. I'm going to make something else happen. You understand what I'm saying? And so now that we done amassed this thing, let's face the truth. And with that, let's take a tea break. You dig? Huh? Take a tea break. Absorb all of that. Absorb all of that. Take a moment, take a tea break. All right, y'all, let's do this. Take a deep breath in. Breathe real quick. Absorb what you just got. Hold it for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Do it again. One more time. Breathe in. Let it rise. Let it elevate. Let it sit for a moment. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Relax your shoulders. Oh, yeah. Feel good? Feel better? Okay. Let's go. Let's get into facing the truth. Let's face the truth. You have to get your notes. You ready? Let's go. I'm going. You have to deal with your mess before it spills over into stress. Write that down. You have to deal with your mess before it spills over into stress. What caused me, what I had allowed my past experience to happen could have caused me much stress, which could have caused strain on other relationships. But I dealt with that energy. And you got to deal with that type of energy. See, I dealt with that energy when it was bringing me stress, when I felt it coming up. I said, no. I'm going to deal with this right now. I'm going to deal with this energy right now. I'm not about to allow my stress to build up inside of me because of my passive behaviors. I'm going to do something about this stress that's trying to build up and get rid of it right now. And so this is what I'm here doing. Okay? All right. So we face the truth. You feel me? So we deal with your mess before it spills over to stress. And the question is, how do you do that? And what does that look like? How do you do that? And what does that look like? Well, you have to make highly involved conscious decisions. You have to make highly involved conscious decisions. What does that mean, highly involved? You have to, listen to me, you have to go to a source much greater within you. And I want to say greater than yourself, because you are the greatest source. So you have to go to the greater source within you and make a highly involved conscious decision. What do I mean by that? Prayer, meditation, sitting with that thing, writing it out. And also sometimes highly involved conscious decisions deals with people that you really trust, people that you know who are making highly involved conscious decisions about their lives and their business, and that are prospering and fruitful with what they're doing. And you got people like that in your life, and you can consider this person someone that can be a guidance for you. And so you reach out to say, guide me in this area that I cannot see, because I need to be able to deal with my passive behaviors when it comes to decisions. So I need to be able to make highly involved conscious decisions. So you go to the greater source, or you have to reach out to a greater source within you and say, and pray and meditate and feel from a place, okay, what do I need to do on this situation? What do I need to do to make this happen? What do I need to do so that I am not a person that is displaying passive behaviors? And you have to deal with you. You understand? You just have to. You have to deal with your passive ways. We're going to be emotional creatures because that's what we are. But you cannot dismiss when you are seeing things happening to you and you just go on about life. That's not a conscious way of living. You understand? We call ourselves conscious, but we're not conscious of how we are allowing things to happen in and around us. You understand? So you have to make highly involved conscious decisions. What does that mean? And what does that even look like? What does that mean to you? Why would you do that? You have to develop a mind that you are going to be the aggressor. Now, I got a topic coming up on aggression, but aggression is not being an aggressor. Okay? So, aggression is not being an aggressor. So, what that means and why. So, here it is. You have to make highly involved conscious decisions. What does that mean to you? And why would you do that? Because it's important for you to involve something other than looking at something from the natural, from the carnal eye, seeing it from this eye, from this view. And you have to go within, like the blind man, and see something within, like the blind man, Jesus, like when Jesus healed the blind man of his sight, he gave the man sight within. And then was he able to see everything clearly. The scripture boldly puts this. He was able to see something within first. Then was he able to see clearly when his eyes was actually naturally open. When his eyes became naturally open, then was he was able to see more clearly. When you go to something greater within you and make a highly involved conscious decision involving your higher self, a higher matter, involving a higher source within you, you'll be able to see the vision of it within first. Then when you open your eyes, can you see things more clearly? Can you say, oh, I see now how to navigate this, how to get around this, and not get around like being passive, get around, but meaning get around like I now know how to get this out, get rid of this, get this out of my life, and get over this hump already. I know how to get over this hump already. I'm good, so I know how to do this now. I know how to do this now. And so you're attacking on a sense of going within. Let me go within. Let me breathe. Let me make a highly involved conscious decision with myself so that I am not leaving out the greatest source within me. You feel me? And you have to develop a mind that you are going to be the aggressor. Being passive is opposite of being an aggressor. Meaning, when bills, when things, when debt, when issues come up, the moment it comes up, you say, let me get on this. That's what it means to be an aggressor. You say, I'm not going to let a day pass. I'm not going to let 2 weeks pass. And I'm really speaking to myself on this part. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm speaking to you too. I'm not going to let a day pass. I'm not going to let a week pass. I'm not going to let a month pass. I'm not going to let this pass over from being passive. I'm going to, the Passover. I'm not going to let this pass over from being passive. I'm actually going to take this and be the aggressor. As soon as I see it come up, an issue come up, I deal with it. Sometimes we want to wallow. But when we wallow in our frustrations, when we wallow in our anger, when we're heated and we want to wallow in it, what are you really wallowing in? Think about that. What are you wallowing in? You are wallowing in your what? You're wallowing in your suffering. So when we wallow, we're just wallowing deeper and deeper and deeper into suffering. The more you stay in, suffering is like quicksand. The more you struggle to get out of it, the more you struggle, the more it pulls you in. Suffering is like quicksand. The more you struggle in it, the more and deeper it pulls you into it. The deeper it pulls you into it. You understand? And so you cannot struggle in quicksand. You're only going to sink deeper and deeper and deeper. You cannot struggle in your suffering. You cannot wallow in your suffering. You're only going to sink deeper and deeper and deeper. There is no upside. There is no brighter side. There is no bright light. There is no bright day on the other side of suffering if you choose to wallow in it. The only bright side, the only brighter day, the only bright side to suffering is dealing with your suffering, dealing with being because of your passiveness, dealing with it in the moment it arises and saying, let me figure out a way to deal with this. If it's journal, if it's reading, if it's exercise, if it's cooking, if it's talking, if it's screaming, if it's going to the batting cage, like me, if it's doing something to deal with that frustration, that's what you do. You deal with it. But when it arises, you go and deal with it. That's how I deal with my stuff. You gotta release that. You got to release that. You cannot allow that to wallow, or you will continuously beat yourself up about it. And the suffering is prolonged. And then you drown in your suffering, which can get you deeper into what state? Depression. That's another topic on the Breaking Habitual Patterns. And people think depression is an emotion, which it is. But a lot of people bring on depression like, like a new day. Like day after day, they choose to be depressed. So it's like certain things we have to not allow to happen to us. And so we're going to talk about depression another time. But you develop a mind that you are going to be the aggressor. So when things rise, when things come up, boom, you get on it. You say, rather you have let's say a bill comes up, you don't have the money, but it begins to frustrate you and scare you and put you in a state of fear. You don't want to wallow in that. Say, you know what? The bill's here. I can't do nothing about it right now, but I'm not going to wallow though. I got a bill I can't pay, and they own my butt about it. I cannot wallow about it. You know what? I got to find something healthy. I got to find a healthier way to deal with this. And you go deal with it in a healthier way. And just allow the bill to be the bill. Don't allow the bill to be you. Don't allow the bill to scare you. Don't become the bill. The bill is not a frightening thing. It's that these things are made in the image of fear. That's why my book, you need to get Breaking Out, Escape the Fear of Failure. You understand what I'm saying? We got to deal with these things that causes fear within us. And the bill is made in the image of fear. And so we allow it to scare us, but we need to take back and be the aggressor and say, so what? It's a bill. Be the aggressor and look at it and say, okay, whatever. And deal with that and love you in the midst of a bill. And a bill shouldn't frighten you, scare you, and allow you to not live your life. Now let's heal the matter, because we got to hurry up and get through. Let's heal the matter. Let's heal the matter, okay? Let's get into it. So I'm going to do a little quick tea break. Not that long, 30 seconds maybe. But I need to breathe. And I'll see you back in a second. We about to heal the matter, y'all. Get your pens and get your notes out. We ain't gonna be long. I need to breathe though. Y'all like this vibe? I like this vibe. All right, let's take a moment to breathe and let's heal the matter, okay? Breathe in. Inhale through the nose. Let it rise. Let it elevate. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly release through the mouth. Take one more deep breath in. Seven, 8, 9, 10, and release. And relax. Release and relax. All right, let's heal the matter, y'all. Number 1. Part 1. Healing the matter. Dealing with your mess. Dealing with your mess means you have to clean up the environment around you. You have to clean up the environment around you that's causing you to live in habit patterns of passiveness. People who don't keep their word, if that's something that's important to you, they have to go. You cannot be passive on who you're loyal to if they're not loyal to you. People who don't keep their word, you got to clean up the environment around you. So that begins with certain things like people who don't keep their word. And you just allow people to just break promises and break their word to you. And you just allow them to stay in your life and keep access to you. If loyalty is something that you believe in strongly, then don't be passive on loyalty. Stop being passive on people who don't know how to keep their word to you. Stop being passive to people who don't know how to honor their own truth, their own word, and what they say to you. Who don't know how to honor what they do. Stop being passive on that. So you got to begin to clean up the environment around you. That's just one I was giving you. It doesn't just necessarily mean people who are not loyal to you, but it's in all areas that you're being passive in. That's just an example. Part two of one. Number two of part one. Number two of part one. If you always thinking of a later time to do things, you have to clean that up. Set times, set dates, set schedules around what gets done. I'm sorry. Set times, set dates, set schedules around what gets done and when, and do it. Set times, set schedules, set dates around what gets done, when, and then do it. Okay, this is being the aggressor, and do it. Do it. Because if you're not loyal to your own word, then you can't expect other people to keep their word and be loyal to you. And because you're passive on loyalness, people are passive on being loyal to you. And you need to understand that this is how things like that show up. Because you are passive, you are not keeping your word to yourself. Because you're passive on not keeping your word to yourself. You're not loyal to yourself. Guess what? Don't expect people to be loyal to you. And this is why you got to begin to clean up the environment around you. Clean up the environment around you, because what that says is, if I honor my own word and I'm loyal to my word, then I expect loyal people around me. I expect people who keep their word around me. If I'm loyal to myself, then I need people of the same ilk, the same cloth, the same, you know what I'm saying? I need people of that same fiber and same fabric to be around me. Otherwise, I am not going to allow people in my space that don't honor and keep their word. I'm loyal to myself. I need people to be loyal to themselves, because they're the type of people that are going to make them their way in my life, right? So you have to set times, set dates, set schedules around things that gets done, and when, and then do it. Because if you're not loyal to your own word, then don't expect others to hold that same value towards you. I want you to get that, write that down. All right. Part 3 of 1. Number three of part 1. Number 3 of part 1. If you value loyalty for self and others, okay, that's something that came up last. But to go back on that last point, yeah, if you value loyalty for self, others will do the same for you. Okay, that's just to end off that last part. But part number 3 of part 1. Number 3 of part 1. Okay. Keep a clean space around you. Keep a clean space around you. This is what I say. You got to clean up the environment around you, but also keep a clean space around you. Keep an environment. Keep a clean space around you. You know, they say cleanliness is next to godliness, but I want to say cleanliness is next to motivation. When things are clean around you, you're able to see things clearly. Your mind is not cluttered. You can see things a lot more clearly. Your pathways to seeing things and creative ideas are open more because you keep things clean around you. Cleanliness is next to motivation, and what that means is when you got to clean, when your surroundings are clean. When your surroundings are clean, see, your environment is those who you navigate in life with. That's your environment. People you navigate in life with, places you navigate around to. That's your environment. That's where you find yourself at most of the time. Your surroundings is your home right here in your space. Cleaning up your environment is cleaning up people outside of your home, the places you go to, the things that you do, people in spaces that you go to and visit. You got to clean up that environment. But your surroundings is your home. Clean up your surroundings. Clean up the surrounding area. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's going to motivate you. When you are living in a clean space, you get motivated for some reason to go out and do something great because your space is clean and your mind is clear. I'm going to say it again. When your space is clean, your mind is clear. And that gives you room to create ideas. That gives you room in your mind for ideas to come in for you to create and be inspired by and be motivated to get it done. You understand? Stop putting off, or sometimes my own handwriting gets the best of me. Okay, stop putting off or being passive about cleaning up around you, literally. Stop being passive about that. I already said that a clear space opens up the mind to many more productivity, to productive ideas. This gets you that promotion at work if you're seeking that. Because your mind is clear. You can see, when your mind is clear, you can see growth for your company, for your business. You can see areas in which you can see voids, places where you can fill the gaps. Because you have a clear mind. If your mind is cluttered, you can't see areas where you can fill the gaps because you got so much on your mind. But when your mind is clear, when your space is clean, you can see gaps. You can see voids where you can actually fill those holes. You understand? So you got to, these help you further grow your company or further grow your business. Ways to better start on a vision because it has room in here. It has room in here to grow. It has room in here to expand in your mind. When you decide, I won't let idleness succumb me. When you decide, I won't let idleness succumb me to not making decisions from my passive, from not making decisions about my passiveness. When you say, I'm not going to allow idleness to succumb me, you're not allowing your passive ways to be the decision factors in your life. You're not allowing your passive ways to be decision factors in your life. You understand? Number 3 of part 1. Making highly involved conscious decisions, and I spoke about this earlier, but making highly involved conscious decisions means you involve every rhyme and reason. Every rhyme and reason for the decisions to live with the results. You involve every rhyme and every reason for the decisions that you're about to make to live with the end result. To say, you know what, I'm gonna live with this. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to choose this. If getting on a plane means there's a risk factor that the plane may go down, then you know what? That's a risk I'm living with the decision. Every time I get on the plane, I don't think about the plane, possibly that 1% factor of the plane going down. There's a 1% thinking in my mind that, yeah, a plane can go down, but I make the decision and I live with the result. So I'm not living in fear of being on a plane. I say, okay, this is a decision I made. I know that that's a factor with airplanes, but you know what? I got to go here, do here, go there. I'm on. I'm getting on. And therefore, boom. You understand what I'm saying? And I live with the result. I live with the result. So you make a decision to live with the result. You involve who you feel it can affect and benefit and go from there. So when you're making highly conscious, involved decisions, you involve who it can affect and who it can benefit. And you go from there. Who can this affect If it affects my children, let me involve them. Who could this benefit? It benefits me, my company. Let me involve my business, my company, my business partners, the people I deal with. Okay? We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. I guess that was part one of number 2. That was number 1 of part 2. Making highly involved conscious decision. That was number 1 of part 2. Number 2 of part 2. You want to do this so that you become more aware. Okay, this is actually finishing off the last point. My bad. This is finishing off the last point. You want to do this so that you become more aware of when and where you have to be. When you have to be the one to make a decision, why you have to be the one, and be thoroughly clear about when it has to be made. Okay? That finishes off part 2. Part 3, part 1 of 3. Part 1 of 3. Hold on. Oh yeah. You have to be the aggressor. This goes back to facing the truth. Right? But we're healing the matter. Now we're healing the matter. So you have to be the aggressor. You have to take action. The moment you know the feelings come up, begin to say what needs your attention right now. What needs your attention right now? Okay? Don't allow passive patterns to take over your mental space. And why you do this is so at the moment the enemy within begins to say, you can do that later, you begin to cognitively redirect and reprogram. You begin to cognitively redirect, reprogram, and reconfigurate your thinking at the moment of this passive pattern. You immediately immediately begin to disagree with the behavior because you foresee the outcome and results of making these passive decisions. You see the unstableness, the fear, the moving with relatives you don't want to live with. All this helps you take demand over a passive pattern arriving. And that's going to do it for being passive. But I will add to that. Man, we right on time. Like, when I get to writing, I don't be knowing I be writing an hour's worth of material. But I write an hour's worth of material, and here we are. Within an hour, not even an hour out, because we still got 3 minutes. But I'll take that time to say goodbye. I just want to say thank you, first of all. Secondly, I want you to stop, look, listen. The old phrase, the old way, the old saying. Stop, look, and listen. Begin to stop. Okay? Stop what's going on around you, the passive ways. Look within, and say to yourself, what areas could this affect and cause feelings and emotions of fear to come up later? And what areas could this affect that could cause fear to come up later and all these other things to arrive later in my being? So we look within at that. And then we listen to what's going on. We listen to our heart. We listen to the vision. We listen to what's being shown to us. We listen. So we don't just see it, but when we see it, we do it. That's being the aggressor. We listen. When we listen, we become the aggressor. Aggressor doesn't mean aggression. The aggressor means you don't let things arrive and fester in your environment and just murk up the muddy waters even more. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want these things to continuously murk up the muddy waters constantly in your life. So you want to continuously, you know what I'm saying, clean up the space and clean up the environment. Love you. Love what you're here to do. Stop being passive about that. Stop being passive about that. And take the time to breathe through every situation. Listen, let me turn this down real quick. If you want a book, a copy of my book, Breaking Out, Escape the Fear of Failure, all you got to do is slide in the comment section or slide in my DMs and tell me you want a copy. And I will get you the information. I will get your information and I will give you, and you will get, I have 23 copies with me today. I already think I got 2 already going out. So really I got 21 copies now. But I'm going to personally sign every copy with a nice little note. But I'm going to personally sign every copy and send it to you. Okay? And I just want you to know that this book is very helpful. This book has helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And I literally mean that. It's my best-selling work. You understand? It's my best-selling work. So, if you're just now getting here, sorry you're late for class. You should be here at 9 o'clock a.m. Thank you for joining. I want to say, be here tomorrow at 9 a.m. for, which one are we doing next? I forget which one we're doing next. Okay? I forget which one we're doing next. So, be here tomorrow. Be here tomorrow. Let me see which one we're doing next. We're getting ready to go through depression tomorrow. That's gonna be a heavy one, but I'm gonna make it fun, make it light. Okay? I love you. I love me. I love us. Ashe in a tone. Be well and be light. Breathe one more time before I close it out. That is the closing bell of today. Peace. See y'all at 9 tomorrow.